You've been lied to about history. Here's the truth. What if I told you that some of the biggest moments in history never actually happened? We humans love a good story, even if it means bending the truth a bit. From misleading facts to deliberate cover-ups, today we're uncovering 6 historical lies you've been told your whole life. We're diving deep into history, separating fact from fiction, and maybe even blowing your mind a little bit in the process. And trust me, you'll never see history the same way again. You've probably heard that the Great Wall of China is the only man-made structure visible from space. But that's actually false. Astronauts have confirmed that the wall is barely visible, even with zoomed-in lenses. Think about it. The Great Wall is long, yes, over 13,000 miles long, but it's also narrow, averaging only about 20 feet wide. Major cities and roads are far easier to spot from space. The myth likely started in the early 20th century, before we even had space travel. Napoleon Bonaparte. The short, angry general, right? Wrong. History's gotten his height all wrong. We've all seen the caricatures, the little guy with the big hat and the even bigger attitude. But like many things we think we know, this is a case of mistranslation, literally. He was actually 5'7", which was above average height for his time. The average Frenchman in the late 18th century was about 5'5". The myth came from a miscalculation in French to English measurement conversions. Back then, the French used pausses, French inches, which are slightly longer than English inches. It's amazing how these little details can snowball into full-blown historical inaccuracies. Every movie and TV show shows Vikings wearing helmets with horns. But the truth is, they never did. Those horned helmets? Pure fiction. The idea actually came from 19th century operas, not history. Specifically, the 1876 production of Wagner's Der Ring des Nibelungen. Archaeological evidence shows that Viking helmets were simple and practical, designed for protection, not intimidation. They were typically made of leather or metal and sometimes had a simple nose guard but no horns. The truth, as they say, is often much less exciting. Egyptian pyramids were not built by slaves. The story that the pyramids were built by slaves? Hollywood made that up. Archaeologists have found evidence that the builders were actually skilled workers who were well-fed and paid for their labor. There's evidence of skilled craftsmanship, specialized tools, and even medical care provided at worker settlements. These weren't slaves, they were skilled laborers, engineers and artisans, the backbone of the Egyptian economy. They took pride in their work, and their contributions helped create some of the most enduring structures in human history. The pyramids stand as a testament to the ingenuity and skill of the Egyptian people, not as monuments to oppression. Van Gogh didn't cut off his entire ear. You've heard that Vincent van Gogh chopped off his entire ear in a moment of madness, but that's not the full story. He only cut off part of his ear, not the whole thing, and it was likely due to mental illness and an argument with a friend. The incident involved a heated argument with fellow artist Paul Gauguin, and while the exact details remain unclear, we do know that Van Gogh's injury was limited to the lower part of his left ear. The myth of the completely severed ear likely stems from a combination of exaggeration and the dramatic retellings that often accompany stories about eccentric artists. But the truth, while less sensational, paints a more complex and ultimately more human portrait of Van Gogh. People in the Middle Ages knew the Earth was round. Contrary to popular belief, people in the Middle Ages did not think the Earth was flat. Ancient Greek scholars had already proved it was round over 2,000 years ago, and educated people of the time knew it. Thinkers like Pythagoras and Aristotle, way back in ancient Greece, had already figured out the Earth was a sphere. And this knowledge wasn't lost during the Middle Ages. The idea of a flat Earth was largely a myth even then, often used by writers and artists as a metaphor for ignorance or the limits of human understanding. The truth, as always, is much more nuanced. The truth is out there. So, how many of these history myths did you believe? It's okay, we all fall for a few historical inaccuracies along the way. The important thing is to keep questioning, keep learning, and keep exploring the past with a critical eye. Let me know in the comments. And if you love uncovering hidden truths, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more mind-blowing facts. We've got a universe of fascinating stories to uncover, so stay curious, my friends.